Well, Tommy Fury joins us now this morning. Morning, Tommy. Congratulations.
Morning, guys. Thank you very much.
It was an extraordinary night. I sat up with my boys who are 18 and 16 and they were desperate to see how you got on. I'm a boxing fan, so I was intrigued to know how the fight was going to go. And I think, you know, it was an enthralling contest. But what struck me most, Tommy, was just how emotional you were at the final bell. And when you got the decision, I was really bowled over, and I thought you explained very eloquently just what this fight meant to you. Can you just explain to people who maybe missed it why it was so important, why you got so emotional at the end?
Yeah, the emotions were so high because it wasn't necessarily the win. It was everything that I went through for the past 3 years. You know, people saying that I backed out of the fight twice. People saying that I couldn't, beat the guy and that I was scared of a YouTuber. And on that night, I silenced everyone. I went out there against, all odds, against me supposedly cracking underneath the pressure, not being able to deal with anything, and going out there and putting on a hell of a performance and coming away with the win.
Well, it's a fantastic achievement. You are a boxer, Tommy, obviously. Jake Paul is a YouTuber. I mean, we've just had an explanation for viewers who might not be as up-to-date with Love Island as all of us are here. But how would you describe Jake Paul? How important was it for you to beat him?
Yeah, Jake Paul's a good guy, at the end of the day. We've got to do what we've got to do to sell a fight, and, and that's that. It's just business. But Jake Paul is a tough guy. He showed that he can mix it with a real boxer in the ring. And, at the end of the day, he was in there and he wanted to win and he trained hard for it. So any guy that does that, they're a force to be reckoned with. But at the end of the day, there's levels to this sport, and I showed him that I was levels above him.
The interesting thing, of course, is that these days most fights come with a rematch clause, depending on what happens. He's definitely got a rematch clause and undoubtedly came out straight at the back and says he wants to do it. Is that something you'd be willing to do again, Tommy? Or are you thinking, I'm going to take a while, I'd like to pick a few more opponents before I entertain facing Jake Paul?
No, definitely. The rematch is something that I'm definitely wanting, because I believe in the rematch. I will stop him. The first fight, I'd never been the 8 rounds before, so you're just a bit wary of what's in your tank and how the fight's going to go. But now I've been in the ring with him once. I know what to expect. I felt his power, and I'm just ready to get out there in the rematch. I know it to myself, and I do believe I'll get the stoppage next time.
Jake Paul apparently boasted of earning $30 million from the fight. That is apparently way more than you earned as the winner. But your father, John, has called on Jake Paul to honour a handshake all-or-nothing bet that you made before the fight, which would see you take all the money. Do you think you're entitled to it?
I mean, at the end of the day, we was live on television and we shook hands. So, I mean, we'll take that as how you want to take it. I mean, we're old-fashioned guys, so a handshake, it means everything to us. But let's see if he honours it or not. Did
you have a word with him afterwards and say, come on then, Jake, are you going to honour that bet? I watched that moment during the press conference, and I was quite surprised because, of course, you were set to lose everything, in theory, if he had beaten you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's all fun and games at the press conferences, isn't it? But at the end of the day, we did shake hands, and me and my whole family, we are old-fashioned people. So a handshake is as good as a contract to us. So let's see Jake Paul. Let's see if he's going to answer it.
Well, that would be handy, wouldn't it? $30 million. What did you earn out of the fight?
I did very well. At the end of the day, it was a career highest payday for me. Well, not for me, should I say, because everything I do now in my career is for my little girl, Bambi. Everything that I do now is to make sure that she's got happy and, a good life for herself. So whatever I can do to make sure she has that's enough for me. OK,
so the reports are that it's $4 million, but you are a family man. I mean, you have a strong family anyway, don't you? We know that. Your dad, John, and your brother, of course, your half-brother, Tyson. But just tell us about when you found out that Molly May, your lovely partner, wasn't even able to watch that moment when you won. She was in a separate room with Bambi, your daughter.
Yeah, it was a crazy feeling. I knew in the build-up that she would never be able to watch the fight just because of how scared she gets for the fights and the fact that she doesn't want to watch them. And when I did see the video that she, you know, when she first heard that I won, it was amazing because at the end of the day, this victory, it was for those two. You know, at the end of the day, I've been in training camp. Molly's been an absolute amazing mother. You know, she's the best woman any man could ever ask for. I mean, she's done everything, all the hard miles at the start, because I was in a training camp, and I owe everything to her and Bambi. So, like I said, this victory, this win, it was for them too.
Jake Paul's been talking since the fight. He was talking to Boxing News 24. I'm not sure if you've heard this. You probably have, I'm sure. He said it's not what it has to do with him. It's got everything to do with me. He wasn't that great at all. I think Anderson Silva, who is a previous opponent of his, was tougher than him. I figured out that puzzle. What do you make of what he said? He also said he had a tough camp. He got injured. He was very low.
Don't listen to it, Tommy.
Yeah, no, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you can't cover up. He lost fair and square in the ring to me, and I think he's just looking for excuses to try and cover that up. You know, he didn't look that ill when he was flying here, there and everywhere on press conferences, getting private jets to London, doing all these things, making stupid videos on the internet. He didn't look that ill to me then, so at the end of the day, I think he's trying to cover up his loss, but you can't. You know, I handed him his first loss, so he's got to come to terms with that.
Someone else who did lose on the night was your brother Tyson. He put a big bet on you.
100 grand.
100 grand to knock him out. Has he had a word with you about that?
Yeah, he has. He pulled my collar after the fight and he said, we're going to have to sort this out when we get back home. So I've got a funny phone call awaiting me.
What else did he say to you? Because, you know, apart from losing the money, he must have been absolutely thrilled with what you did in the ring.
Yeah, no, honestly, it was absolutely amazing because in our family, Tyson's the best. Tyson's the greatest to ever do it. You know, he's that guy from our family. And, you know, on Sunday night, that was my little piece of glory. That was my time to shine. And it was just amazing because from a little kid, I was always telling everyone, you know, my family and everyone included, that lightning would strike twice and that there would be two, you know, very successful guys from our family. And on Sunday night, I proved that. And that was my glimpse at glory. And Tyson was there supporting me. And you could just see the look all over his face. You know, he was so happy to see that I got the victory. And I thoroughly deserved it because I've gone through some hard miles to get here. And now I'm finally sitting here talking to you guys. And this is my time now. This is the start of my time at the top.
Oh, it's wonderful listening to you. And, you know, congratulations. And also, for anybody who's cynical about Love Island and the relationships and says that they're fake and put on and staged, you and Molly-Mae are an example of how you genuinely can find real love in that villa. So, you know, it's wonderful to
definitely
see. And lovely Bambi as well. Oh.
No. 100% no, I appreciate it, guys. It's Love Island. It definitely, without that show, none of this would have been possible. You know, Love Island gave me Molly, it gave me Bambi. Because without Love Island, we probably wouldn't be here. So Love Island definitely works. And it was a great experience, and definitely, I would change nothing about it.
Tommy, are we going to see a bit more reality TV from you and Molly-Mae and Bambi before the next fight? Or have you got an idea of when you might fight again? What's coming next?
We're going to sit down, you know, I'm going to spend some much needed time at home with the family, like I said. And then, you know, this week or next week, we're going to look at what options we've got on the table. And I don't know, honestly, my life is like up and down at the minute, so I can't tell you what's next, but I know it's going to be good, so stay tuned.
Oh, we absolutely will. I mean, we could take over the world, frankly. Tommy, well done. Thank you very much indeed. Tommy. Lots of love to Molly-Mae and Bambi. I can totally understand why she wouldn't want to watch.
It would be tough. It'd be a tough thing to do.
Thank you and God bless.
But you did them proud. Well done.
Tommy,
Tommy Fury there, who won his bout on Sunday night. It was really struck me, as a fan of boxing, just how emotional Tommy got. He was in tears after tears of joy, but the relief after 2.5 years of having to struggle because he got injured first time, couldn't go to America the second time to fight him, accusations that he was trying to avoid the fight, finally got to go to Saudi Arabia and have the fight and finish that. Well, they called it the truth, and they got the answer on the night. It was quite sort of compelling to watch.
The final answer to the trolls, wasn't it?
Ultimately,
absolutely right. Let's have a look at the weather now with Laura.